Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video.
Look at that face.
So I've really had a real frustrating last couple of days. Monday was one of those days when nothing seemed to go right and everything took forever to do. Today I've had loads of day job stuff to do, and I've just had a really frustrating day where it just seems that nothing I do is going right. The computer's not working properly. I've had issues with antivirus software. I've had problems with Photoshop not working properly. I've had to shut the machine down and restart again. One of those real frustrating days. But I've just managed to sit and do an art journal page, which has kind of calmed me and relaxed me a little bit now. So yeah, I can focus on getting everything edited now, which is what I'm just about to do on the computer. So hopefully things will now start to behave themselves on the computer. Is everybody in? Yeah. Everybody in and comfy?
We'll give him a minute when I get this bell, son.
Fan always comes on at full blast, I don't know why.
Come on, try to start and see if we go.
Right. Just got to go and put some go juice in. So do you want to stop off at the speeds or?
No.
Okay.
You're having a problem?
I am. Car's not in automatic anymore.
Well, I'll pull over before you get the train. It's not, you can't do it manual, can you?
Yeah. That's it. It was locked. So it's Valentine's Day coming up very, very soon. And for my Valentine's gift from Ian this year, he's bought me this big, lovely, kind of sturdy metal toolbox. Now, the reason, well, I actually asked for it, is because I wanted to get rid of or condense and bring together all of the tools and equipment I use in the preparation and creation and production of my handmade journals. So yeah, so normally in this craft room where we are, they're scattered all over the place. I've got a unit on top of the bookcase, like a 3-tier unit on top of the bookcase. I've got drawers in my blue unit, and things are just kind of scattered all over the place. So I wanted to bring everything together. So theoretically I could just pick this up and go maybe sit downstairs in the kitchen and create down there too. So it's a handy little toolbox, a sturdy little toolbox. So in the top I've just put some of the waxed linen thread. This space is empty for the time being. See, it's room to grow into, and there's a a toolbox kind of tray that sits on the top. That's got most of my most used tools and bits of equipment. So there's an awl, I've got a bone folder, I've got hole punches, I've got craft knives, corner rounders, which I just said, I've got clips, I've got magnetic clasps, and of course I've got some beeswax for waxing thread that needs a bit more, or when I'm not using wax linen thread, I use that to wax it up. Metal book corners, that kind of stuff. So everything there, just at, you know, within easy reach when I need it. But underneath, there's even more space. It's like Hermione's handbag, this, the invisible extending charm. It just seems to go on forever and ever and ever. So in here, I've got some vintage tins that I picked up recently at a flea market. And in each of these tins, I've put bits and pieces that I use. So in there, I've got some split pins or brads, different shapes, different sizes, different colours. In there, in this one, I've got my header tapes. So none of it is just floating around, it's all compartmentalised in here. I've got all of my book plates that I use for the spines and for decoration. And in this one we have the Tim Holtz Countdown brads. Now the reason I put these in a separate one is because they're all the same and they're all, you know, of one particular type, and there was enough to put in one tin. I've got another tin full of protective metal corners, different shapes and sizes and colours again, so I did label those up a while ago. I've got a little tin of little self-adhesive ladybirds, and in that one I've got some of those little split pins or split clips that you just put onto edges of pages. In this one I've got my sewing needles when I'm stitching and sewing all my signatures together, and in this one I've got my heavy duty paper clips from small to large. So from small size to large size. So some made out of brass, some made out of plastic, some made out of stainless steel. So, and that's what I use to hold all the pages together while I'm either piercing them with an awl or when I'm stitching. And I've got some spare beeswax blocks as well. Love the smell. So what I wanted to do now is just actually go through and just add some labels on top of the tins that I can't see what's actually in. So I've got metal corners in that one, so in that one I was just going to put countdown brads using my little label printer. So if I just go I can then see at a glance, let's see if this will fit. Can't even spell. Is it press harder, Mike? That would help, wouldn't it? Yawn. Okay, countdown brad. So that will fit on the top of that tin there. Now, I know I've already had something stuck on the top of that, but that doesn't matter. Countdown brads. So I just bought these little hinged tin lids, or tins with lids. Hinged tins with lids, there you go. God, brain's going dead. Off the internet, I bought 10, I think, and 8 of them have vanished. Yeah, I've only got 2 left. No idea where the others are. Anyway, I bought them to do a little assembly project with, but hey ho. Right, so in there we've got book plates. So I'll just type that out, book plates. And hit print. And then pretty much everything is going to have a place And those of you who are, you know, organisation minded or mindful, once everything's got its place, then everything can be put away and you can see exactly what you need without really having to worry about it. So header tapes. Just call it head tapes, kind of what I mean. Even though they are used for footers as well. So now that I've been able to empty that grey 3-tier unit, I've given it to Ian. So, because originally it was actually bought for him to use and take to his shows to display his products on, but he found it a bit restricting because it's too big. So anyway, I've now given him it back, and he's got it in his workshop in his garage now. So those are just, I'll just call them Brad's, other Brad's other for that one. Yeah, these vintage tins I picked up, like I said, at a local antique store, and they were really cheap. I think I paid, I bought 4 and I paid £2 for them, so just ridiculously cheap. So that one, and there was another one which I haven't used yet because it's a bit, but it was for cigars. It's still got the paper inside, look. It smells lovely, but it's very thin, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use that one for. It may be for putting like Ex Libris book stickers on the insides of that one. So on this one then we've got needles, sewing needles, sewing, no, S. Go. I know it says useful drawing pins on there, but what the heck. That was a Tim Holtzy one anyway, so even the aging on there is actually printing. It's not real. I did want to get some of the strychnine and poison ones at Halloween, but my local art shop sold out. I'm going to put it on the side because I don't want to spoil the top on that one. Don't want to spoil the top because I like it. But I can still pretty much see, and in there we've got the paper clips, paper clips, paper clips, paper clips. And I think that's me pretty much organised. Seeing as I've now got 3 handmade journals that are currently in construction, 2 that are for commissions, 1 that's almost finished, and 1 I've kind of started within the last few days or so, and 1 which I've just putting together the bits and pieces for it. It's 1 that I'm doing just for me. I've got an idea of a style or a theme that I wanted to pursue, so that's the one, the 3rd one. So apart from that, of course, there's my pricking mat, which will just lay nicely down there. That sits on top, and that is everything nice, neat and tidy. Hello.
You right?
Yes.
Hello. been to the bakery to get some bread, and been to the works, and been to town to pay some pennies.
Oh, you've been into the works?
Yes, it's a small shop.
I wanted to come with you.
There's nothing there.
Okay. So is that lunch then?
Yes.
Right, I'll be down in a sec. So it's a god-forsaken hour in the morning and we're in Whitby, we've arrived. We set off this morning just before 6 AM. So still half asleep, but as you can see, seaside. So just if you wanted to get your bearings, so that is leading up to the north. Across there's the North Sea. Move my finger because it's all gone blurred. There we go, start that again. So that's the north. So that is up towards Sands End, Redcar, Middlesbrough, Newcastle. That's the North Sea. And then just up the top there is the other part of Whitby, which is the Abbey and that kind of thing, which I'll show you later on.
See how it comes. that was only very quick, but it comes out and done.
So, what is it? So, are you going to burst it then?
If I'm blowing it, will it burst?
Best touching it with your fingers.
Ready?
Yep. Whee!
Voila.
As if by magic. So we're back from the Whitby Steampunk weekend. It was a kind of hit and miss weekend. The Saturday was really busy, busier than we kind of anticipated it was going to be. But I think people turned up on the Saturday rather than the Sunday because they knew what the weather was going to be doing, or what the weather forecast was going to be like for the Sunday. So the footage that you saw was mostly taken on the Saturday because that's when it was the busiest. Now, we opened the doors at about 10 o'clock in the morning. I went round and did some filming of the stands and that kind of stuff, and it was fairly busy with people to the point where, you know, I had to go and help Ian back on the stand again, and I never got a chance to get out and actually take photos of people in costume and that kind of thing. And then before I knew it, it was closing time, and Ian and I had been rushed off our feet pretty much all of the day. So we just went back to the hotel, got washed and changed quickly, and then just went out for something to eat. And it was dark in Whitby, so and the wind had started to pick up. So I didn't film while we were out actually in the town of Whitby, because the venue where we were is just slightly to the north of the town. And then on the Sunday, that's when Storm Kira really hit. So we were driving winds, very, very hard rain, and not a lot of people wanted to come out dressed in Victorian crinolines and costumes. So Sunday was kind of a quiet day, but it was a really weird one. It was one of those days where there were people coming in drips and drabs and then disappearing again, but we were still kind of busy, but not overly busy, if you know what I mean. And I just completely forgot to get the camera out because we just kept ourselves busy with whatever. So yeah, so it was a very interesting and fun weekend. We got back and then went the next morning. We didn't go and pick Bentley up until the next morning, so I went over to Mum and Dad, who had been babysitting for Bentley over the weekend, and then came straight back home again. So yeah, it was a fun but interesting weekend. Wet and very windy. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.